Doa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Ya Allah, sesungguhnya Engkaulah Tuhan yang mempunyai kebesaran dan keagungan, yang memerintah dan mentadbir alam sekalian. Tiada berlaku sesuatu melainkan dengan kehendak dan kekuasaan daripada-Mu jua. Kepada Engkaulah sebenar-benar dan memohon pertolongan. Ya Allah, apalah kiranya dengan kemurahan-Mu Engkau anugerahkan kepada kami sebaik-baik ilham dan fikiran, dan berikanlah kami sebaik-baik pimpinan untuk menjalankan tugas dan kewajipan kami. Mudahkan kepada kami segala kerumitan dalam menyelesaikan persoalan-persoalan yang diperbahaskan di dalam sidangan kami ini, dan sampaikanlah kami kepada kata sepakat dan tujuan-tujuan yang muktamad demi untuk kepentingan dan kebaikan negara. Seterusnya, kepada Engkaulah juga kami harapkan agar segala usaha dan cita-cita kerajaan dalam rancangan-rancangan pembangunannya akan berhasil dan berjaya untuk membawa kemakmuran, keadilan dan kebahagiaan kepada rakyat seluruhnya. Amin.
Pemasyuran daripada Tuan Speaker.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi dan salam sejahtera. Ahli yang berhormat, bersyukur kita kehadrat Ilahi kerana dengan limpah dan kurnia-Nya maka kita dapat berkumpul sekali lagi di mesyuarat ketiga bagi penggal pertama Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak ke-19 atau lebih dikenali sebagai Persidangan Belanjawan. Saya mengucapkan selamat datang dan terima kasih di atas kehadiran ahli-ahli yang berhormat ke persidangan ini. Persidangan kita akan berlangsung selama 8 hari, mulai hari ini 21 hingga 30 November 2022, kecuali hari Sabtu 26 November 2022 dan hari Ahad 27 November 2022. Semoga kita dapat bersidang dalam suasana yang muhibah dan penuh bertata tertib. Ahli yang berhormat dan sidang Dewan yang dihormati sekalian, bagi pihak Dewan yang mulia ini, saya ingin mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi takniah kepada Yang Amat Berhormat Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Dr. Haji Abdul Rahman Zuhari bin Tun Datuk Abang Haji Openg, Premier Sarawak, atas kejayaan cemerlang Gabungan Parti Sarawak GPS memenangi 22 kerusi. 22 kerusi secara resmi setakat ini daripada 31 kerusi dalam kawasan parlimen yang dipertandingkan dalam pilihan raya umum ke-15 pada 19 November 2022. Ahli yang berhormat dan sidang Dewan yang hormati sekalian, Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya Malaysia telah mengantungkan proses pengundian di bahagian pilihan raya Parlimen 220 Barang pada 19 November 2022 akibat fakta cuaca yang tidak mengizinkan. Oleh yang demikian, rakyat di P220 Baram akan mengundi pada hari ini seperti yang telah ditetapkan oleh pihak Suruhanjaya Pilihan Raya Malaysia. InsyaAllah, keputusan rasmi bagi kawasan pilihan raya Parlimen P220 Baram akan kita ketahui pada hari ini. Dewan Yang Mulia ini juga mengucapkan setinggi-tinggi tahniah kepada semua ahli Parlimen Sarawak dan ahli-ahli yang berhormat di dalam Dewan Yang Mulia ini di atas kejayaan dipilih menjadi ahli Dewan Rakyat. Semoga ahli-ahli yang berhormat akan memberi khidmat terbaik kepada rakyat di kawasan khasnya di Sarawak amnya. Dewan Yang Mulia ini mengucapkan tahniah kepada ahli-ahli yang berhormat seperti berikut yang telah dikurniakan darjah-darjah kebesaran negeri sempena sambutan perayaan Hari Jadi ke-86 Tuan Yang Terutama yang di-Pertuan Negeri Sarawak pada 8 Oktober 2022 yang lepas. Yang berhormat Datuk Gerawat Gala Timbalan Menteri di Jabatan Premier, Buruh Immigration dan Pemantauan Projek dan Adun 78 Mulu. Yang berhormat Datuk Haji Len Talib Saleh, Timbalan Menteri Perancangan Bandar, Pertanian, Pentadbiran Tanah dan Sekitar, dan Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri N+1 Kuala Rajau. Yang berhormat Datuk Dr. Anwar bin Rafi'i, Timbalan Menteri Pengajian Tinggi dan Inovasi dan Adun N55 Nangka. Yang berhormat Datuk Dr. Pengguang Manggil, Timbalan Menteri Kerajaan Tempatan dan Adun 76 Marudi. Dan yang berhormat Datuk Dr. Juanda Benjaya, Timbalan Menteri di Jabatan Premier, Integriti dan Ombudsman dan Adun 44 Jemuring. Lima ahli yang berhormat telah dikurniakan darjah Panglima Gemilang Bintang Kenyalang PGBK yang membawa gelaran Datuk. Setinggi-tinggi tahniah juga diucapkan kepada yang berhormat Encik John Ilus, Ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri N23 Bukit Semuja yang dikurniakan pingat Pegawai Bintang Sarawak PBS. Ahli-ahli yang berhormat, I have granted leave of absence under Standing Order 81-2 yang berhormat Datuk Roland Sagah WIN, Honorable Minister for Education, Innovation and Talent Development and member for N20 Tarat for today's sitting. Yang berhormat Encik Paulus Palungumbang, Honorable Member for NAT, Batu Danau, and Yang Berhormat Encik Jonikel Rayong, Honourable Member for Engkelili, for today and tomorrow sitting. Honourable members, under Standing Order 12, bracket 1 and bracket 2, government business shall take precedence over private members' business, and government business shall be set down in such a manner as the government thinks fit and communicate to the DEWAN under DEWAN UNDANGAN NEGERI Secretary, to the DEWAN UNDANGAN NEGERI Secretary. 4 days, that is, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, are set aside for the daily 1-hour question time. Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday shall be devoted to debate on the budget. The ministerial replies shall take the remaining 3 days, that is, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday next week of this meeting. Ahli yang berhormat, bagi pihak Dewan yang mulia ini, saya ingin mengucapkan takziah kepada keluarga Allahyarham Tan Sri Dato' Amar Abang Ahmad Urai bin Abang Muhyiddin yang telah meninggal dunia pada 12 Jun 2022 yang lepas. Allahyarham adalah merupakan bekas ahli Dewan Negara dan bekas ahli Dewan Undangan Negeri Sarawak bagi kawasan Saribas. Bagi menghormati Allahyarham, marilah kita sama-sama berdiri bertafakur selama seminit dan membaca Al-Fatihah. Terima kasih.
Rang Undang-Undang Kerajaan. Bacaan kali yang pertama. Supply 2023 Bill 2022. Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak, Menteri Kewangan dan Ekonomi Baru, Adun N26 Gedong.
Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, I beg to introduce a bill entitled an ordinance to supply a sum out of the consolidated fund for the service of the year 2023 be read first time.
Supply 2023 Bill 2022.
Yang Yang berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I wish to give notice that this bill will be read a second time today.
Rang Undang-Undang Kerajaan, bacaan kali yang pertama, Electronic Sarawak Government Activity Bills 2022. Yang berhormat Menteri Utiliti dan Telekomunikasi dan Adun N27 Sebuyau.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I beg to introduce the Electronic Sarawak Government Activities Bill 2022 be read a first time.
Electronic Sarawak Government Activities Bill 2022.
I wish to give notice that this bill would be read a second time on the 22nd November 2022.
Rang Undang-Undang Kerajaan, bacaan kali yang pertama, Constitution of the State of Sarawak, Amendment Number 2, Bill 2022. Yang berhormat Timbalan Menteri di Jabatan Premier, Undang-Undang MA 63, Hubungan Negeri Persekutuan dan Adun N7 Samaria.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I beg to introduce the Constitution of the State of Sarawak, Amendment Number 2, Bill 2022, be read the first time.
Constitution of the State of Sarawak, Amendment Number 2, Bill 2022.
I beg to move that this Constitution of the State of Sarawak Amendment Bill 2022 be read a second time on the 22nd of November 2022. Thank you.
Rang Undang-Undang Kerajaan, bacaan kali yang pertama, Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Future Fund Board Bill 2022. Yang amat berhormat Premier Sarawak, Menteri Kewangan dan Ekonomi Baru, Adun N26 Gedong.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I beg to introduce the Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Future Fund Board Bill 2022 be read the first time.
Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Future Fund Board Bill 2022.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I wish to give notice that this bill would be read a second time tomorrow.
Rang Undang-Undang Kerajaan, bacaan kali yang pertama, Sarawak Timber Industry Development Corporation, Amendment Bill 2022. Yang berhormat Timbalan Menteri Perancangan Bandar, Pentadbiran Tanah dan Alam Sekitar, Adun N41 Kuala Rajang.
Yang berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I beg to introduce the Sarawak Timber Industry Development Corporation Amendment Bill 2022 be read the first time.
Sarawak Timber Industry Development Corporation, Amendment Bill 2022.
Yang berhormat Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I wish to give notice that this bill would be read a second time in the same sitting on 23rd November 2022.
Rang Undang-Undang Kerajaan, bacaan kali yang pertama, Veterinary Public Health Amendment Bill 2022. Yang berhormat Menteri Industri Makanan, Komoditi dan Pembangunan Wilayah, Adun N69 Kemenang.
Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, I beg to introduce the Veterinary Public Health Amendment Bill 2022 be read a first time.
Veterinary Public Health Amendment Bill 2022.
I beg to give notice this bill will be read for the second time on the 23rd of November, the same sitting.
Rang Undang-Undang Kerajaan, bacaan kali yang kedua, Supply 2023 Bill 2022. Yang amat berhormat Premier Sarawak, Menteri Kewangan dan Ekonomi Baru, N26 Gedung.
Datuk Ahmad Speaker, Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, saya mohon mencadangkan supaya rang undang-undang bertajuk suatu ordinan bagi menggunakan sejumlah wang daripada kumpulan wang disatukan untuk perkhidmatan bagi tahun 2023 dan bagi memperuntukkan wang itu untuk perkhidmatan tahun ini dibaca bagi kali kedua. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, Alhamdulillah, saya ingin merafakkan rasa syukur setinggi-tingginya kepada Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Kerana dengan izinnya saya berpeluang untuk membentangkan bajet negeri Sarawak tahun 2023 dalam Dewan yang mulia ini. Sebelum itu, dengan rasa rendah diri, saya ingin mengambil kesempatan ini untuk merakamkan setinggi-tinggi penghargaan dan terima kasih kepada seluruh rakyat Sarawak yang telah memberi kemenangan besar kepada GPS dalam pilihan raya umum yang ke-15 minggu lepas. Mandat yang amat bermakna ini merupakan satu amanah dan tanggungjawab berat yang perlu dipikul oleh semua wakil rakyat GPS dengan penuh integriti dan dedikasi. Ianya juga memberi kekuatan dan semangat kepada kita untuk terus memperjuangkan hak-hak Sarawak dan menyumbang kepada kestabilan politik negara. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, COVID-19 pandemic over the past 3 years has upended our lives, causing tremendous hardship for so many of us. It has also significantly changed the state government budgetary projection and driven up expenditure. However, by the grace of Almighty Allah, we are resilient. We acted fast and have rallied together to overcome the adversities. We faced unprecedented economic challenges and fought hard to save lives and jobs. Under BKSS 1.0 to BKSS 9.0, the state government have implemented direct and indirect assistances worth 6.7 billion ringgit to support our healthcare system, the vulnerable and at-risk population, businesses, and other sectors. Our responses have been the most generous and broad-based in the country, with the 9 major BKSS packages, among others: cash incentive for B40 group, 10% to 25% discount on electricity auto bills, 25% to 30% discount on assessment rate, and special assistance for hawkers, petty traders, micro and SMEs. These measures have indeed lessened the adverse effect of COVID-19 pandemic in easing the financial burden of the rakyat as well as businesses, while at the same time help to alleviate the cost of living. In our effort towards ensuring the delivery of state government projects during the pandemic and easing the margin erosion faced by contractors, the state government has also initiated the variation of price (VOP) mechanism to address the increase in price of construction materials for all state-funded projects. The state government is expected to spend not less than 700 million ringgit to implement this measure. We would not be able to support these measures without a strong backup from our sound fiscal resources that have been accumulated over the years. The fallout from the pandemic could have been much worse for us had it not been for the proactive and fast response by the state government. Throughout this tribulation, we Sarawakians have come together and supported one another. Thus, I would like to express my deep appreciation to 1. Our tireless, dedicated and heroic healthcare workers, security and immigration personnel, transport workers, community leaders, and many others who have been unwavering in the front lines, keeping us safe through the pandemic. 2. Our civil servants and those in the State Disaster Management Committee, led by my Deputy Premier, Yang Berhormat Dato' Ahmad Degras Ugah Mbas, who have worked unfailingly day and night, delivering various assistances to our people. And 3, most of all, I thank all Sarawakians for your continuous support and complying with the COVID-19 measures and giving trust to the government that together we can overcome these challenges. Our utmost priority now is restoring hope and confidence in our people and boosting economic recovery. Next, we need to push ahead to modernize and diversify our economy to meet new demands and deal with changing global landscapes. And finally, we must continue to strengthen our society's resilience to various shocks, be it economic, environmental, or social disruptions. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, Economic Performance 2022 and Prospect for 2023. Before I go into the details of the 2023 state budget, I would like to first provide a review of the economic performance for the year 2022 and the outlook for 2023 as a backdrop to this budget proposal. Global economy. Global economic recovery was short-lived. After experiencing a strong recovery growth of 6.1% in 2021, the Russia and Ukraine war that comes on top of the lingering COVID-19 pandemic has caused great uncertainty, with increasingly gloomy global economic situation throughout 2022. Inflation in most countries has soared and persisted, with escalation in food and energy prices. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, in its October 2022 report, projected global inflation to reach 7.2% in advanced economies and 9.9% in emerging markets and developing economies this year. Growth in the world's 3 largest economies, namely the United States, China, and European Union, is weakening, with significant adverse impact on other countries. Growth in the United States is revised downward from 5.7% in 2021 to 1.6% in 2022. Likewise, for the euro area, growth is projected to slow from 5.2% in 2021 to 3.8% in 2022. In the case of China, its strict zero COVID-19 policy and lockdowns disrupted factories and dampened spending, contributing to projection of slower growth at 3.2% in 2022. With no sign that the Russia and Ukraine war is ending soon, global economic outlook for 2023 remain dim and continue to experience recessionary pressure. Global economic growth is projected at 2.7% in 2023, with high inflation of 6.5%. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, Malaysia economic performance 2022 and prospect for 2023. Malaysia economy is expected to achieve a higher than estimated growth at 6.5% to 7% in 2022. Following a successful vaccination drive and the full withdrawal of movement restrictions since April 2022, Malaysia economic recovery has been strong. In the third quarter of 2022, Malaysia economy registered a strong growth of 14.2%, underpinned by continued expansion in domestic demand. Overall, Malaysia economy expanded by 9.3% in the first 3 quarters of 2022. Consumer spending picked up, resulted from recovery in the labour market, along with the implementation of minimum wage hikes beginning 1st May 2022, and continued policy support through Bantuan Keluarga Malaysia. At the same time, external demand remains strong, with support by steady demand for electrical and electronic products. Nevertheless, downside risk lies with the softening of global growth, rising commodity and food prices, the United States and China tension, and China's zero COVID-19 policy that were affecting supply chains. Against this backdrop, the Malaysian economic growth is projected to grow between 4% and 5% in 2023. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, state economic performance in 2022 and the prospect for 2023. I shall now move to the Sarawak economy. In 2022, Sarawak economy is expected to grow between 5.5% to 6.5%, supported by strong external demand and improvement in domestic economic activities, reflecting normalizing economic activity as we move towards endemicity and reopening of international borders. Manufacturing and services sectors are expected to be the main drivers of growth. Business activities continue to improve, including transport and storage, with growth in the passenger traffic and visitors. Over the period from January to August 2022, the number of visitors to Sarawak has increased by 10-fold to 2.01 million, compared to the corresponding period in 2021. We foresee this encouraging trend will continue for the rest of the year and into 2023. Evidenced by the increase in property transaction volume, In the first half of 2022, the services sector is further supported by the encouraging improvement in growth of the real estate sector. As trade-related activities is anticipated to remain strong for the rest of 2022, we are confident that the services sector will enjoy an increasing growth projected at 7% in 2022. The manufacturing sector is projected to grow at 6.8% in 2022. In the first 8 months of 2022, volume of LNG exported increased by 3.8% compared to the corresponding period in 2021. Growth in the manufacturing sector is further supported by increasing production of electrical and electronic products, especially resulting from higher global demand for semiconductor. With the expected higher output of natural gas, growth in the mining sector is projected at 2.7% in 2022. As for the agricultural sector, growth is expected to be marginal at 1.4% in 2022. In the first 9 months of 2022, production of crude palm oil increased by 1.3% compared to last year, supported by gradual increase in inflow of foreign workers. Crude palm oil price for 2022 is projected to remain strong, ranging from 4,500 ringgit per ton to 5,000 ringgit per ton. Meanwhile, growth in the construction sector is projected to remain favorable at 5.0%. During the first half of 2022, growth in construction was largely driven by development of the property sector. Although earlier there were concerns raised by the industry players on increasing cost of construction materials, the implementation of variation of price (VOP) mechanism is expected to further boost the performance of construction sector in the second half of 2022. Tan Sri Datuk Amar Speaker, the demand side. On the demand front, strong external demand was registered in the first 8 months of 2022. The total external trade increased by 1.5-fold from 91.1 billion ringgit in 2021 to 141.2 billion ringgit in 2022. Both export and import increased by double-digit growth of 61.1% and 38.6% respectively. Strong commodity prices continue to drive the growth in export, particularly in oil and gas, aluminium, ferroalloy, as well as crude palm oil. Oil price is expected to remain high, with an average price hovering around $100 per barrel for 2022. Meanwhile, the robust performance in import was driven by growth in intermediate imports, which supports development activities in the state and expansion in manufactured export. On the consumption side, private consumption is expected to grow at 6.8% in 2022, intensified by recovery in the labor market and normalization of economic activities. Furthermore, the rollout of Bantuan Khas Sarawak Ku Sayang BKSS and Bantuan Keluarga Malaysia have provided additional support to consumer spending. In the first 7 months, import on food and beverages rose by 25.6%. On the other hand, the expected lesser spending on COVID-19 related support in 2022 is anticipated to lower public consumption by 23.1%. Meanwhile, both public and private investments are projected to register a strong growth of 19.3% in 2022, mainly driven by high public investment allocated for development projects, import of machinery and equipment, as well as intermediate goods expanded by 52.5% in the first 8 months of this year. Approved investment in manufacturing sector also showed an increase in the first 9 months amounting to 6 billion ringgit, particularly in the electrical and electronic industry. Translated to our Speaker, with most economic indicators showing an upward trend, Sarawak economy is on track of recovery. Whilst we anticipate the domestic economy will gradually improve and become stronger for the rest of 2022 and into 2023, we are also aware of the downside risks that global uncertainties such as Russia-Ukraine war, as well as China's zero COVID-19 policy, may affect our external demand. Slowing global trade activities are anticipated to prolong into 2023, and with anticipation that the oil price may trend downwards, Sarawak's economy is projected to register a growth of between 5% to 6% in 2023. Nevertheless, this positive growth shows our economy is proven to be resilient to pandemic disruption, aided by the state government emergency response initiative and a strong vaccination program. Inflation. The disruption in the global supply chain and rise in commodity and food prices have caused higher costs of production across industries. In Sarawak, inflation went up from 1.9% for the period of January to August 2021 to 2.6% for the corresponding period in 2022. This is largely due to higher inflation from the food and non-alcoholic beverages segment, contributing 1.4 percentage point of the overall inflation in Sarawak. As a whole, inflation in Sarawak is expected at 2.5% to 3% in 2022. Labour market. The labour market in Sarawak continued to improve in 2022. Employment increased in the second quarter of 2022, alongside a significant increase in labour force. This has increased labour participation rate to 70.8%. Unemployment rate stabilized around 3.3% in second quarter of this year. Following the positive outlook across the various economic sectors, the overall labor market in Sarawak for 2022 is expected to be resilient. Unemployment rate is projected to remain around 3% to 3.5% in 2022. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, financial performance of the state in 2022. Now I would like to update this August House on the state financial performance for year 2022. Revenue 2022. The state revenue for 2022, which was originally estimated at 10.036 billion, is now revised upward to 10.159 billion, mainly due to favorable prices of oil and gas, as well as crude palm oil. As of 31st October 2022, the state has collected 9.69 billion ringgit, or 95% of the revenue projection, mainly contributed by collection of sales tax SST, cash compensation in lieu of oil and gas rights, and dividend income. Expenditure 2022. Ordinary expenditure. The ordinary expenditure for 2022 has been revised upward from 10.646 billion ringgit to 10.706 billion ringgit, an increase of 60 million ringgit or 2.5%. As of 31st October 2022, 7.862 billion ringgit, or 73% of the ordinary expenditures has been expended. The amount expended made up of operating expenditure of 2.912 billion ringgit and the balance of 4.950 billion ringgit for appropriation to the development fund account. We are expected to meet our projected budget as we move towards the end of the year. Development expenditure. The state has expended 5.263 billion ringgit, or 69% out of the total development budget of 7.60 billion ringgit as of October this year. With the reopening of economy and normalization of economic activities, expenditure is expected to increase further as development momentum continues to pick up towards the end of the year. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, State Budget Proposal for 2023. I would now like to table the 2023 State Budget Proposal with the theme, Sarawak First, towards an inclusive, prosperous, and harmonious society. The 2023 State Budget is formulated by anchoring on the following 5 principles. First, we will develop a more robust, competitive, and equitable economy. Second, we will build Sarawak as a competitive and resilient state. Third, we will create a smart society underpinned by digital technologies, knowledge, and innovation. Fourth, we will continue to foster a united, harmonious, and caring society where our efforts would not leave anyone behind. And fifth, we will continue to plan forward for fiscal sustainability to ensure future security for our children and grandchildren, as well as generations that come after us. The state fiscal strategy continues our balanced approach by managing debt prudently, reducing the deficit caused by COVID-19 expenditures while rebuilding and revitalizing the economy. In line with the goals of Post-COVID Development Strategy 2030 or PCDS 2030, the 2023 state budget is framed across 11 strategic thrusts aimed at steering the state economy towards higher growth and accelerated development. The 11 strategic thrusts are as follows. First, achieving economic prosperity. Second, stimulating economic growth. Third, promoting investment and enterprises development. Four, transforming Sarawak into a competitive economy. Fifth, developing human capital. Six, accelerating digital adoption and data utilization. Seven, balancing economic growth with environmental sustainability. Eight, strengthening social welfare. Nine, enhancing culture, sports, and youth development. 10, promoting research and development, science and technology, and innovation. 11, enhancing state government capacity and service delivery. Anchoring on these 11 strategic thrusts, the State Economic Recovery Plan under the 2023 budget will thus focus on accelerating economic growth, strengthening the momentum of recovery, stimulating private investment, generating employment and business opportunities, and building a more competitive and income-generating economy. Tan Sri Datuk Amar Speaker, Revenue Estimate 2023. The state is projected to collect a revenue of 11.035 billion ringgit for the year 2023. This is the highest ever revenue projected thus far, reflecting our relative achievement in boosting the state coffer. This is the first time our revenue surpassing 11 billion ringgit. The revenue is derived from the following major sources. 1. Tax revenue totaling 5.246 billion ringgit or 48% of the total expected revenue in 2023, comprising the following. 1. 4.195 billion ringgit from state sales tax, of which 3.2 billion ringgit from crude oil, liquefied natural gas, and other petroleum products, 850 million ringgit from crude palm oil and crude palm kernel oil, 60 million from lottery, 60 million from aluminium products, 22 million from coal, while the remaining 3 million from tire. 2. 550 million from raw water royalty. 3. 287 million from forest royalty, timber premium and tariff. And 4. 214 million from mining royalties, land rents, and others. 2. Non-tax revenue is estimated at 5.498 billion ringgit, or 50%, mainly derived from the following major sources. 2.335 billion ringgit from cash compensation in lieu of oil and gas right. 2. 1.864 billion ringgit from dividend income. 3. 650 million ringgit from interest income. 4. 400 million ringgit from land premium. 5. 120 million from cash compensation in lieu of import and excise duties on petroleum products. And 6. 129 million ringgit from others, including licenses, service fees, permits, and rentals. 3. Non-revenue receipt, which is expected to be 26 million ringgit, mainly from unclaimed deposits, overpayment recovered, liquidated as certain damages and penalties, forest liquidated damages, other compounds, and disposal of vehicles. And 4. Federal grants and reimbursement is expected to be at 265 million ringgit. Tan Sri Datuk Mas Speaker, Ordinary Expenditure 2023. Under the Ordinary Expenditure, a sum of 10.797 billion ringgit is budgeted for 2023. Out of this, 3.997 billion is for operating expenditure, while a sum of 6.8 billion ringgit is for appropriation to development fund account to finance the implementation of various development programs and projects. The budgeted operating expenditure of 3.997 billion ringgit in 2023 comprises the following. 1. 938 million, or 24% for personnel emoluments. 2. 1.508 billion, or 38% for supplies and services. 3. 1.343 billion, or 34% for grants and fixed payment, which includes operating grants to statutory bodies and local authorities, servicing of public debts, and payments of gratuities, pensions, scholarship, including financial and welfare assistances. 4. 90 million for procurement of asset, and 5. 118 million ringgit for other operating expenses. Budget surplus 2023. Datuk Tan Sri Datuk Speaker, I am pleased to inform this August House that with the projected revenue of 11.035 billion ringgit and total ordinary expenditure of 10.797 billion ringgit, the 2023 state budget is expected to generate a surplus of 288 million ringgit. It will continue to be an expansionary budget that invests heavily in infrastructures and places the well-being of the rakyat at its centerpiece. Development expenditure 2023. The 2023 state budget will continue to be a development-oriented budget and rural-focused. A sum of 7.506 billion ringgit is proposed under the development expenditure estimate for 2023, whereby 4.540 billion ringgit or 60% will be for development in rural areas. This estimate has taken into consideration, among others, 1, our commitment to complete the implementation of numerous ongoing projects. 2, our capacity to implement projects during the year. And 3, our priority to undertake catalytic, high-impact, and people-centric projects. In this regard, we will introduce a value management framework in our process of planning, evaluating, and undertaking projects of certain threshold. Under this framework, various key stakeholders shall be involved in deriving and reaching to a decision on the optimum balance of project benefit vis-à-vis project costs and risks. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, Strategic Trust and Initiative. This budget is not just a fiscal plan for 2023, but it is a foundation for Sarawak's future, a financially responsible plan that seeks to make our state safer, more secure, more resilient, and more prosperous, to set our state on a better path toward achieving our 2030 vision. With this in mind, I will now highlight the various initiatives under the 11 strategic trusts. Strategic Trust 1, Achieving Economic Prosperity, Creating Employment and Business Opportunities. The 2023 state budget will prioritize effort to accelerate development, ensure more balanced regional growth, as well as address socio-economic needs and challenges faced by our people. Our huge investment in infrastructure development will also ensure the rakyat have greater access to employment and business opportunities to improve their standard of living. Thus, in 2023, the implementation of various people-centric projects will be intensified, which include the following. 1. Rural Transformation Program with an allocation of 420 million ringgit. Project Rakyat with an allocation of 500 million ringgit, and 3 special projects, formerly known as minor rural project, with an allocation of 237 million ringgit. Initiative 2, Investing in Affordable Housing. In our effort to ensure the rakyat live in decent and quality house, the state government is committed to build more affordable housing. Toward this end, 316 million ringgit had been set aside under the 12 Malaysia Plan, of which about 50 million will be provided in 2023 for the implementation of 21 affordable housing projects in Kuching, Serian, Betong, Sibu, Mukah, and Miri by Housing Development Corporation. Initiative 3, intensifying urban renewal program. The state government is also focusing on sustainable urban renewable program where affordable housing will be provided, equipped with basic infrastructure, utilities, places of worship, and integrated with other types of development such as commercial and recreational facilities. The various urban renewal projects being implemented, among others, are 1. Darul Hana redevelopment, 2. Sungai Berdaun housing project, 3. Kampung Tabuan Melayu redevelopment, 4. Kampung Datuk Sibu redevelopment, 5. Kemunyang Sibu affordable housing development, 6. Kampung Baru Kapit redevelopment, 7. Jepak Jaya development, 8. Samariang Pinggir redevelopment, 9. Kampung Wireless Miri redevelopment, 10. Bandar Baru Nangka Sibu, and 11. Padang Kerbau Lopeng Miri development. All these projects are currently ongoing and at various stages of implementation. In 2023, a total of 42.5 million will be provided to intensify the implementation of these urban renewal projects. Initiative 4, increasing opportunity for home ownership. We will continue to deliver transformative change through our integrated approach of making home ownership more attainable for the low and middle income groups. These efforts are being manifested by our various initiatives, which I will now highlight one by one. 1. Long House Loan Scheme. Sarawak has introduced the Long House Loan Scheme, which is an interest-free loan to help those residing in rural areas to have a comfortable home to live in. The scheme offers interest-free loan up to 30,000 ringgit per door in the form of building materials for the longhouse communities to build or repair their units. In 2020, a total of 142 million ringgit allocated for the scheme had been disbursed, which has benefited 218 longhouses throughout Sarawak, involving 4,747 doors or units. The state government will make available an allocation of initially 50 million for this scheme in 2023. Number 2, Housing Deposit and Repayment Assistance Scheme, HDRAS. This scheme was initially introduced in 2021 as Housing Deposit Assistance Scheme that provided deposit assistance of 10% of purchase price of up to 10,000 ringgit to first-time home buyers under B40 and M40 group to purchase affordable houses sanctioned by the state government. This year, this scheme has been enhanced and renamed as Housing Deposit and Repayment Assistance Scheme, SDRAS, whereby it also provides repayment subsidy to the home buyers at a sum of 200 ringgit per month up to 48 months. For this purpose, a further sum of 40 million will be made available under the scheme to benefit 4,000 home buyers. To date, 318 applicants have been approved under this scheme. I think we are the only state that gave deposit 10,000 to home buyers. And they don't have to pay back. It's free from GPS government. Number 3, and financing for home buyer. One of the factors that makes housing remains out of reach for many Sarawakians is the difficulty for them to obtain bank financing. To address this issue, we have stepped forward to provide and financing for B40 and M40 home buyers at an interest rate of only 1%. To date, a sum of 107 million ringgit has been disbursed by the state government to Mutiara Mortgage and Credit Sdn Bhd for this purpose. Presently, a total of 1,337 applications have been approved, involving a financial allocation of 80 million ringgit, of which a total of 48 million has been disbursed to 976 applicants. Initiative 5, providing assistance for house rental and repair. The state government has also introduced measures to assist the rakyat in payment of house rental, as well as repair of their houses through the following activities. 1. Sarawak Rental Assistance Scheme, SRAS. Sarawak Rental Assistance Scheme, SRAS, was introduced in 2021 to provide monthly rental assistance of 200 ringgit for a period of up to 60 months to eligible low-income household. An allocation of 48 million ringgit has been approved under this initiative, which will benefit about 20,000 eligible households. To date, 1,335 households have been assisted under this scheme. 2. Program Penambahbaikan Rumah Rakyat Miskin Sarawak, MRP PPRMS. This initiative will continue to be implemented in 2023 with an allocation of 80 million ringgit to assist the B40 group to repair their dilapidated houses to improve their living conditions. Tan Sri Datuk Mas Speaker, Strategic Thrust 2, stimulating economic growth, intensifying infrastructure development and ensuring greater urban-rural economic integration, Initiative 1. In steering Sarawak to become a high-income and inclusive economy, the state government is committed to accelerate its economic growth with greater emphasis on infrastructure development. The 2023 budget will allocate 1.12 billion ringgit to intensify infrastructure development such as roads and bridges, ports, and riverine infrastructure, particularly in the rural areas. Among the projects are: 1. Design and construction of Inner Ring Road Kuching. 2. Construction of road from Sibu Jaya to Kong Yit Kim Road in Sibu. 3. Jalan Pakan, Ulu Kota, Pakan Serike Phase 3. and replacement of 7 temporary bridges under Phase 1 to permanent bridges. 4. Upgrading of Jalan Oyak Sibu. 5. Emergency works for damaged public infrastructure. 6. Sungai Limbang Bridge, Sungai Bunut number 2, and connecting roads Limbang. 7. Google Bridges Transformation Program. And 8. Vehicle yard and associated facilities at Senari Port. In addition, the construction of several major infrastructure projects costing billions of ringgit are being implemented and funded under alternative funding initiatives such as Coastal Road Network, Second Trunk Road, Bukit Mambung Airport, and Kuching Urban Transportation System. In accelerating the state transformation agenda, the state government will ensure that development will reach every nook and corner of the state, capitalizing on its local economic potential. Thus, 3 new regional development agencies have recently been created, namely Greater Kuching Coordinated Development Agency, GKCDA, Betong Division Development Agency, BDDA, and Rajang Delta Development Agency, RADDA, apart from other 5 regional development agencies which had been established earlier. This is also in line with our bottom-up approach, empowering and digitalizing our development effort across all regions for better coordination and more effective projects implementation. Initiative 2, expanding electricity and water supplies coverage. The state government aspires to achieve 100% coverage for water and electricity supplies by 2030. Hence, utilities would be provided equitably to our people in a quality, affordable, reliable, safe and sustainable manner. A sum of 26 million will be allocated for electricity supply projects in 2023 as follows. 12 million for replacement of battery and key components for state-alone solar system. 8 million for supply and electricity to schools yet to be connected from public grids. 4 million for additional lead applicant funds, ALAF, and for 2 million for SARES to Sarawak electricity grid. On top of this, there are ongoing electricity supply projects taken up by Sarawak Energy Berhad SAB on behalf of the state government funded under alternative funding. As for water supplies, a sum of 125 million will be allocated in 2023 for the implementation of water supply projects, among others as follows. 1. Siaran Regional Water Supply Phase 2. 2. Raw Water Supply Betong. 3. Construction of sludge treatment for Batu Kitang plant. 4. Construction of Salim plant Phase 3 Sibu. Construction of plant number 5 at Landeh and storage tank at Bukit Sipaya Kuching. 6. Rehabilitation of plant number 1 at Batu Kitang Kuching. 7. Construction of storage water tank Bukit Pancho Serian. 8. Pipeline extension from Old Ulu Oyak to Sibu West. And 9. Construction of Sibu Waste Storage Tank. Apart from this project, the Sarawak Water Supply Grid Program for stress areas, funded by an alternative funding initiative, will continue to be intensified. A sum of 900 million ringgit will be made available in 2023 to implement, among others, the following projects. 100 million litres mid-level and 9 million litres upper-level reservoirs at Matang Water Treatment Plant. 2 transmission main across Batong Sadong Bridge to Simunjan. Pipeline replacement, relocation and extension at Sabangan and Suboyao and associated works. 3. Upgrading of Bayong Water Treatment Plant. 4. Water supply to Pulau Bruit. 5. Kapit Water Treatment Plant augmentation and improvement works. 6. Kanawit Water Supply Phase 2. 7. Tinjar Water Supply, and 8. Sawas Phase 2. Initiative 3, developing industrial estate and business premises. The manufacturing sector is among the 6 major economic sectors identified to be the anchor for Sarawak to attain a high-income economy by 2030. More will be done to diversify and expand industries where Sarawak holds comparative advantage, such as in oil and gas, energy-intensive, high-tech, food processing, shipbuilding, alongside the traditional timber-based and oil palm-based sector. Therefore, we will allocate a sum of 65 million in 2023 for the development of Industry Park in Kuching, Sibu, Sri Aman, Miri and Lambang, and Anjong Usahawan projects at Samarahan, Betong, Sri Aman, Serike, Muka, Kapit, Miri and Limbang. Initiative 4, growing the mining sector. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, we foresee the huge potential of Sarawak mining sector that could be further developed to increase state revenue and accelerate economic growth. Efforts will be intensified to explore mining reserve and potential public-private partnership PPP to attract private sector investment. In 2023, the state government has approved the implementation of the following measures. 1. Formulation of state mining policy and blueprint with an allocation of 3 million ringgit. And 2. Developing geological mapping with an allocation of 3 million ringgit. Initiative 5, boosting tourism sector. Sarawak aspires to be a leading destination for ecotourism and business event, driven by empowered communities to conserve heritage, culture, and biodiversity. The recently completed 3rd Sarawak Tourism Master Plan 2021 to 2035 will serve as the roadmap to transform Sarawak into a preferred tourism destination through sustainable approaches, including providing economic opportunities for the rural communities. In 2023, the state government will aggressively promote tourism through various initiatives as follows. 1. Enhancing air connectivity. The state government, through Sarawak Tourism Board, will make Kuching as a gateway and hub for Umrah. In 2023, a sum of 11 million ringgit will be set aside as financial incentive and support for this initiative. This is expected to generate an estimated 16 million economic benefits in terms of local tours and tourism receipt. Efforts are being made to increase flight connectivity International connectivity with Singapore and Brunei has been re-established, while active negotiations are being pursued with the Indonesian authorities to resume direct flights between Kuching and Pontianak before the end of the year. Given air connectivity is vital for tourism growth, the state government is embarking on establishing its own boutique airline to serve point-to-point destination and bring in more visitors to Sarawak. We hope to be given an air service license, ASL, that allows the new airline to conduct scheduled passenger services. In fact, Dato' Ahmad Speaker, this airline is part of the infrastructure development for our tourism. Two, development and upgrading of tourism products and facilities. We will continue to develop our tourism attraction and facilities, as well as preserve existing tourism spots to further enhance Sarawak's visibility and branding worldwide. Toward this, a sum of 87 million ringgit will be allocated in 2023 to continue with the implementation of tourism-related projects, such as one, transformation of Brook Yard into marine museum, two, Santubong Archaeological Park and Wallace Center, three, construction of jetty and other facilities at Santubong for Kuching Wetland National Park, four, Sadong Jaya Mangrove Tourism, five, exhibition content development for Fort Horse Marudi, Fort Lily Betong, Fort Emma Kanawit, and Fort Brook Julau, six, conservation and upgrading of Fort Sylvia Kapit, seven, rejuvenation of Kuching Waterfront, eight, tourist support center for Lundu and Sematan, nine, upgrading of tourism facilities at Malasa Waterfall Lawas, and 10, heritage gallery and resource center at Long Terawan. Attracting events and festivals, the state government will continue to support the organization of significant events and festivals, such as Spartan Race, Rainforest World Music Festival, Borneo Jazz, Borneo Cultural Festival, Borneo Musical Festival, Sarawak International Dragon Boat Race, Sarawak Regatta, International Siang Ki Competition and Conferences, and many more. An allocation of 35 million ringgit will be provided in 2023 to implement this program. We will continue to market Sarawak globally with an allocation of 12 million ringgit under business event Sarawak in 2023 to fund international business events. For rebranding and promoting handicrafts, in ensuring that our local producers are highly skilled in the production and management of handicraft products, we will establish Sarawak Handicraft Center costing 65 million ringgit to be built in Kuching. The center will provide space to the industry to promote and sell handicraft products. In 2023, a sum of 500,000 ringgit will be allocated to kickstart the project. The state government will also allocate a sum of 1.5 million ringgit to the Sarawak Craft Council in 2023 to enhance marketing and promotion of Sarawak handicraft products. Developing Sarawak Tourism Investment Zone. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, the state government has identified 5 major areas and proposed to be further developed as tourism investment zone, namely Sarawak Delta Geopark, Santubong Peninsula, Hydro Lake Development Areas, Lunduk Sematan, and Miri Sibuti Nia. This dedicated zone will become a catalyst to spur the growth of the tourism sector and attract private sector investment in resorts, wellness, and new tourism products. To ensure tourism industry gets back on its feet and to support tourism-related auxiliary sectors, we will allocate 32 million ringgit in 2023 to Sarawak Tourism Board for its operation, tourism marketing and promotion. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, Strategic Trust 3, promoting investment and enterprises development. It is vital that growth gravitates to the business sector. Thus, we will continue to boost investment that will drive productivity, create jobs, and generate income for our people. Sarawak has been one of the most preferred investment destinations in Malaysia. This is due to a business-friendly state government that is ever ready to facilitate investors. We offer many competitive edges, such as ready industrial land, competitive electricity price, and educated workforce. The state government remains committed to create an ideal climate for investment through attractive policies and initiatives to shore up the confidence of both local and foreign investors. In this respect, we have established Invest Sarawak to promote Sarawak globally towards attracting foreign direct investment. A sum of 7 million ringgit will be allocated to Invest Sarawak in 2023. Initiative 2, facilitating businesses and SMEs. Entrepreneurship is critical to fostering innovation, create jobs, stimulate economic growth, and improve quality of life. The state government will continue to provide our young entrepreneurs with the platform to become tomorrow's successful business leaders. With the resumption of economic activities, the state government is focusing on assisting our businesses to recover. Various initiatives will continue to be implemented under the 2023 budget that ensure business continuity, among others, provision of soft loan, interest subsidy, financial assistance for startup, product development, capacity building, e-commerce, and promotion of marketing. Among them are one special relief fund, Targeted Relief and Recovery Facility, TRRF, and Penjana Tourism Fund, PTF, with an allocation of 18 million ringgit. Scheme Kredit Mikro Sarawak and Scheme Pinjaman Industri Kecil dan Sederhana, SPIK, with an allocation of 14 million ringgit. 3. Graduan ke arah keusahawanan, GRA, in bracket, Usahawan Technical and Vocational, USTEF, bracket, and Transformasi Usahawan Desa Sarawak with an allocation of 7 million ringgit to assist graduate, school leavers, and rural entrepreneurs with technical skill to start and expand their businesses. And 4. Go Digital Program with an allocation of 5 million ringgit to develop digital savvy SMEs and assist them to market their products and services through e-commerce. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, Strategic Thrust 4, Transforming Sarawak into a Competitive Economy. Sarawak has many of the essential building blocks it needs to be a competitive economy as well as an economic powerhouse in Malaysia. We have a strong base of commodities and minerals that are in demand globally, abundant sources of renewable energy, a growing population, and an open economy with talented workforce. Under this one, Initiative 1, venturing into commercial agriculture. Agriculture sector remains one of the pillars of our economy. New jobs and business opportunities will be created in this sector by focusing on commercialization, mechanization, consolidation of our idle land, digitalization of agriculture activities through smart farming, and private sector participation. Numerous initiatives to attract private firms, either locally or from abroad, to venture into commercial agriculture in Sarawak have been and continue to be intensified. These include the privatization of the existing agriculture, fisheries and livestock station in order to optimize state government assets for commercial production of agricultural produces. Sarawak Farmers Organisation, PPNS, as well as Area Farmers Organisation, PPK, are actively collaborating with the private sector to strengthen the marketing of farmers' produces. These include joint venture involving Rambungan Aquaculture Project, Maragang Livestock Station, and Batang Air Aquaculture Project. Establishment of foreign trade and tourism offices. At the international level, the state government also endeavors to attract foreign investment and tourists through the establishment of foreign trade and tourism offices. In this regard, 10 million ringgit will be provided in 2023 for trade and tourism office in Singapore, namely Statos, as well as setting up of another 2 in Negara Brunei Darussalam and Pontianak, Indonesia. 3. Enhancing food security. The state government will also strengthen its effort in advancing a more resilient agriculture ecosystem to address the issue of food security and safety and to create wealth for the agro-based community. This is in line with our aspiration to be a net food exporter by 2030. It is important that we continue to promote the consolidation of small holdings and idle land. This requires participation of the private sector that will bring in capital, technology, expertise, and market. This is the way forward if we want to tap the huge regional market for agricultural produce just at our doorstep. These are being undertaken through the following initiative. 1. Developing agro-park. The state government is actively pursuing the development of agro-park. To date, 3 agro-park projects, namely Sungai Baji Serike, Asajaya, Samarahan, and Parit Bugis. Serike are under various stages of implementation. In 2023, an allocation of 14.8 million ringgit will be provided to complete the farming facilities at Sungai Baji Agro Park and for Parit Bugis Agro Park preliminary works. 5 other areas have also been identified for Agro Park that include Bebuling and Lubuk Tamang in Betong Division, Lubuk Ipoy, Lubuk Terangas and Gedong, Samalatong in Samarahan Division, and Simanggang Agro Park in Sri Aman Division, which is mainly for paddy cultivation and pineapple. Establishing Permanent Food Production Zone, TKMP, iaitu Taman Kekal Pengeluaran Makanan. Under the 12th National Plan, a sum of 5 million has been approved to improve and maintain the existing 7 TKPM to ensure continuous food production to meet domestic demand. In addition, 3 new TKPM at Kubong, Sungai Sibiu, and Tunoh have also been approved and will be implemented in 2023 with a provision of 1.5 million ringgit. Rehabilitation and development of the ID scheme. In our effort to increase food production, developing proper drainage and irrigation system are essential and will continue to be put in place. In 2023, an allocation of 900,000 will be allocated for the rehabilitation and upgrading works of DID scheme in Tanjung Purun and Puih in Kuching Division, and 1 million for the development of controlled drainage scheme project at Kampung Mujat in Siaran Division. Another 25 million ringgit will also be provided in 2023 under Project Rakyat for the rehabilitation of 8 DID scheme in Samarahan Division and the food basket region of Betong and Mokah. On the other hand, the state government has approved the following projects funded under alternative funding, among others. 1. 229 million under Integrated Regional Samarahan Development Agency (ISDA) for irrigation and drainage projects, which include rehabilitation and construction of coastal bund and drainage system. 2. 130 million ringgit for the development of drainage and irrigation infrastructure at Selepong Panggil Sri Aman, an area which huge potential to be the nice for the new rice bowl of Sarawak. And 3. 52 million for the development and upgrading of infrastructure and facilities at Lobak Stoh Agriculture Park, Rambungan, to boost the production of fisheries. Developing food terminal. Datuk Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, to enhance the marketing efficiency of agriculture producers and products, the state government has approved a total sum of 60 million ringgit under alternative funding to build a regional food terminal at Semenggok. In 2023, a sum of 3.5 million ringgit will be allocated for this project. Promoting smart agriculture. The state government is actively pursuing the adoption of modern technology across the agro-based sector and along the agriculture supply chain to enhance the competitiveness and sustainability of Sarawak agriculture sector. In this regard, key initiatives are currently being implemented by the state government, which include 1. Development of Sarawak Agro Technology Park, SATEC. The proposed development of Semenggok SATEC under the 12th National Plan is expected to commence in 2023 with an allocation of 1 million ringgit, while Tarat SATEC will be funded under alternative funding with a sum of 4 million in 2023. The development of SATEC in these two areas is expected to attract global technology-based agricultural-related firms towards transforming Sarawak agriculture into a technology-driven sector. Google ICT and Digital Training Program, in our effort to accelerate the adoption of smart agriculture in Sarawak, the state government continues its capacity building programs among the farmers and agropreneurs. To this, a sum of 975,000 is allocated for various ICT and smart farming programs in 2023. Development of precision farming park. The development of precision farming park in Rampangi, Kuching, Sungai Sibiu Bintulu, and Kabuloh Miri will include modern agriculture facilities such as automated machine, sensors, and Internet of Things, IoT. It focuses on the production of high-value food crops with private sector participation. In 2023, a sum of 21 million ringgit will be provided for this development under alternative funding. Raising income of farmers and smallholders. The state government will continue to implement measures to raise the income level of our farmers and fishermen. Under 12th National Plan, the Department of Agriculture Sarawak has been allocated a sum of 44 million ringgit to implement various programs to support the smallholders in the crops, inland fisheries, and for the processing and marketing of agricultural produces and products. The Department of Veterinary Services Sarawak will be allocated a sum of 26 million ringgit to support the development of livestock farmers and carry out the department various activities in 2023. Sarawak Agro Fund. The state government had approved an allocation of 50 million ringgit for Sarawak Agro Fund to benefit commercial farmers and industry players in agriculture, poultry, ruminant and food crops, as well as food processing industry. A sum of 25 million ringgit has been provided this year, and another 25 million ringgit will be allocated in 2023. To date, a total of 27 commercial farmers and agropreneurs have benefited from this fund. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, Strategic 5, Developing Human Capital. Education is critical as it helps our children reach their full potential. We need to develop a pool of world-class talent that will become a foundation for Sarawak's future. Thus, we will continue to invest heavily in our children's education through the implementation of various initiatives, among others. 1. Teaching of science and mathematics in English language, that is dual language program. Tan Sri Dato' Amar Speaker, Sarawak is the only state that fully implements the teaching of science and mathematics in English. We have taken this bold step to improve the standard of English and provide strong foundation in science, technology, engineering and mathematics STEM education for our students to enable them to compete in the global arena. Since 2019, the state government has spent more than 13 million ringgit to ensure the success of this program. In 2023, a sum of 1 million ringgit will be provided for this program. 2. Establishing of learning institution and resource center. In 2023, a sum of 28 million ringgit will be set aside for the implementation of the following projects. 1. Establishment of CDD new preschool throughout the state, mainly to cater for children from low-income families with an allocation of 20 million ringgit. 2. Advanced Automotive Training Center with an allocation of 7 million ringgit. And 3. Establishment of village libraries in small towns in Sarawak with an allocation of 1 million ringgit. This is actually to establish a learning corner in communities. I am pleased to inform that in April this year, we have opened our first state-owned international school in Kuching. In 2023, a sum of 8 million ringgit will be provided to cover the operating expenses of this school. The second international school, located at Mile 12, Kuching Siaran Road, costing about 58 million ringgit, funded under alternative funding, is nearing completion, where it is expected to start operation by 2024. The other 3 international schools, located in Cebu, Miri and Bintulu, will follow suit from 2025 onwards. Enhancing talent development.
Continuous professional development. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, we will continue the upskilling and reskilling of teachers and school leaders in order to update them with the latest education contents and technologies in teaching. In 2023, through the Ministry of Education, Innovation and Talent Development, approximately 3 million ringgit is allocated for this purpose. An additional sum of 1.3 million ringgit will be provided in 2023 to cultivate ICT know-how among teachers and students. Providing educational assistance programs, in 2023, the state government will also continue to provide allocation for various educational assistance programs, among others as follows. 1. 40 million ringgit operating grant to Center of Technology Excellence Sarawak Centex, 30 million ringgit as assistance for repayment of PTPTN loan for Sarawakian graduates who have repaid 30% and above for their PTPTN loan through the provision of 30% loan repayment discount as incentive for resettlement of outstanding loan balance. To date, this incentive has benefited 11,095 Sarawakian graduates. Again, this is the only state that have the student in PTPTN loan. 3. 20 million ringgit for early childhood care and education for operation of Sedidek, which now has 98 Tadika and Taska. 15 million ringgit annual grant to 3,000 early childhood care institutions, which will benefit more than 80,000 children in Sarawak. 13.7 million ringgit for scholarship and loan for students. 10 million for free tuition program, and 1.9 million ringgit for one-stop early intervention center OSEIC Sarawak to ensure children with disabilities are given equal right to education. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, accelerating digital adoption and data utilization. We will also continue to focus on transitioning to a digital economy, improving on how we deliver public services that are seamless and people-friendly. Key initiatives in 2023 budget include the following: enhancing digital connectivity. In our efforts to widen the internet coverage and connectivity, especially in Google communities, 7,000 towers are required to be built to achieve 99.9% internet penetration throughout Sarawak. Presently, 3,471 towers have been completed. 1,043 towers will be built in stages by end of 2023, and the remaining will be constructed and completed before 2030. In spearheading the digital connectivity for greater urban-rural economic integration under the Sarawak Linking Urban, Rural and Nation Saluran initiative, the following measures are being implemented. 1. Construction of Smart 600 Towers project. 2. Provision of broadband facilities under the Wi-Fi Saluran via Very Small Aperture Terminal VSAT technology throughout 250 sites in rural areas. This is an interim solution to provide internet access to the underserved community, which have benefited 86,562 users. 3. Expansion of Sarawak Net services through digital socio-economy program to 60 sites throughout Sarawak. 4. Expansion of 130 kilometer fiber optic at Sabau, Bintulu, through Sabau Rural High-Speed Open Broadband Network Pilot Project to connect 49 longhouses, 6 schools, 2 higher education institutions, and 3 state government offices in Sabau District. 5. Installation of point of interconnect POI to provide internet services for 9 national parks. 6. Implementation of wireless broadband services via Sarawak Google Broadband Network, MySRBN. Then delivering better services through digitalization. Tuan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, the state government recognizes the opportunities provided by digital economy to act as a new driver for economic growth. The rollout of the state digital economy initiative have enhanced the state digital transformation in key economic sectors, including agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, e-commerce services, and digital government. Among the key initiatives being implemented are 1. Smart city projects in Kuching and Miri, which include the installation of security cameras in strategic locations, installing smart traffic lights, upgrading transportation system, and promoting the concept of green building GBI. Sarawak Integrated Operation Center, SIOC, the brain of the smart city, is also being implemented as a centralized monitoring and control center. And in 2023, an allocation of about 48 million ringgit will be made available under alternative funding for this initiative. 2. IoT adoption, which is expected to boost productivity and yield, increase efficiency, reduce costs, and dependency on manual labor, especially in agriculture and manufacturing sectors. And 3. Digital state government services, with an allocation of 25 million ringgit in 2023 for the implementation of numerous digital projects, which include, among others, the following. 1. Integrated Services Management System. 2. ICT Development Enhancement Project for Land and Survey. 3. Digitalization of water supply, Jebab Water Billing System. And 3. State e-procurement system. Over the last 5 years, Sarawak has produced a number of successful outcomes in its digital transformation, which include, among others, the following. 1. SP Global, which has become the main platform for businesses, state government, and private sector transactions. 2. Smart 300 telecommunication towers that provide high-speed internet connectivity in Google Sarawak. 3. Digital village and 11 innovation hubs throughout the state that have benefited 108 local startup companies. Moving forward, we will be implementing the new Sarawak Digital Economy 2030 Blueprint to quantum leap our digital economy. This blueprint will further enhance our public service delivery, create new business opportunities, provide access to global market, generate jobs, and improve social well-being. Developing digital talent. Investment in digital talent is critical to meet the need of new industries. The state government, through the establishment of digital economy test beds for several key economic sectors, such as Center of Excellence COE 5G and Smart City Open Lab and IR 4.0 Prototyping Lab and Test Bed, will accelerate the adoption of digital technologies by various industries. These are being carried out through technology showcases, research and development, innovation and commercialization platform, as well as workforce transformation program. Besides that, digital community centers, DCC, have been set up to enhance digital skill and talent capacity of the local community. DCC is equipped with broadband internet services, laptops and tablets, digital video conferencing, 3D printers, and digital information. To date, 45 DCC have been in operation since the year 2020, with 2,963 programs that have benefited 79,955 participants. In addition, the state government is setting up a new entity to spearhead semiconductor chip design in Sarawak in partnership with international players. The new entity will play a crucial role in completing the semiconductor ecosystem in Sarawak and moving the industry to a higher value chain, thereby creating highly skilled jobs for our local talents. Initially, 3 million ringgit will be allocated for the setting up of this outfit. Tan Sri Dr. Speaker, balancing economic growth with environmental sustainability. Sarawak aspires to be globally recognized in sustainable management of tropical forests and biodiversity conservation while promoting its timber industry. Promoting environmental sustainability. The Forest Landscape Restoration (FLR) program plays a major role in Sarawak environmental sustainability goal. It aims to restore ecological integrity and improve the productivity and economic value of degraded forest landscape through programs such as replanting of trees. A sum of 19 million ringgit was approved under the 12 Malaysia Plan to implement this project, with 35 million trees targeted to be planted within the next 3 years. In 2023, 2.3 million ringgit will be budgeted for the continuation of this initiative. As of August 22, more than 14.45 million trees have been planted. The state government has also implemented Forest Management Certification (FMC) policy. This policy provides mandatory requirements for all long-term licensees in Sarawak, which cover an area of approximately 3.9 million hectares, to obtain FMC. This certificate aims to ensure that sustainable forest management standards in Sarawak are in line with international standards while enhancing Sarawak's reputation in the global market. To date, areas covering about 1.35 million hectares have successfully obtained FMC. Totally protected area and wildlife protection and management. In 2023, a sum of 6.5 million ringgit will be assigned for conservation and protection of wildlife and totally protected areas (TPAs). Sarawak has targeted to designate 1 million hectares of Sarawak landmass as TPA by 2025. As of second quarter of this year, total gazetted TPA is 872,386 hectares. To enhance the management of TPAs and wildlife, the following projects have also been approved for implementation under Project Rakyat. 1. Development of one-stop center at Bukit Lima Nature Reserve with a total cost of 5 million ringgit. 2. Establishment of Nature Discovery Center at Piasau Nature Reserve with a total of 30 million ringgit. And 3. Publicity program for inscription of Niah National Park as UNESCO World Heritage Site with a total cost of 1.14 million ringgit. Developing hydrogen economy. Recently, the Hydrogen Council estimated that worldwide there are approximately 520 ongoing hydrogen projects. Globally, $160 billion of direct investment have been recorded, and more than USD $400 billion additional private investment in hydrogen plants have been taken up by various governments worldwide. Hydrogen will indeed be the energy source of the future. Thus, Sarawak is aiming to become a leader in hydrogen economy in Malaysia. We plan to begin large-scale commercial production and export of hydrogen by year 2027. The collaboration between South Korean companies, Samsung Engineering, POSCO, and Lotte Chemical, together with Sarawak Economic Development Corporation (SEDC), to develop hydrogen and green ammonia plant in Bintulu, shall be an integral part of our hydrogen economy development. On top of this, Sarawak is presently embarking on enhancing its public transport system via the development of the Automated Rapid Transit ART, which is to be integrated with digital solutions to create seamless experience using hydrogen fuel cell. We expect this eco-friendly integrated public transportation system will reduce carbon footprint in Kuching City by 15% by year 2030. Greening our economy. As we grow our economy, we are mindful of our social responsibility to safeguard our environment, maintain its quality, and strengthen our resilience against impact of climate change. Sarawak's reputation and image around the world are tied back to our action or inaction towards environmental issues, particularly on climate change. It is undeniable climate change is a global threat and that our country is not spared. Therefore, Sarawak, having the largest forested area in Malaysia with immense carbon sequestration opportunities, must play its part for the country to achieve its net zero target emission by 2050. In this regard, we will be undertaking a comprehensive study on the Sarawak climate change policy and low carbon society blueprint in cities and towns in Sarawak, and formulation of Sarawak green economy policy and action plans. In 23, a sum of 3 million ringgit will be provided for these purposes. To further step up this effort, as mentioned, I have established a new ministry known as Ministry of Energy and Environmental Sustainability. Promoting carbon capture, utilization and storage, CCUS. Sarawak has been identified as one of the potential regions in the world for carbon capture, utilization and storage, CCUS. CCUS can fast-track the path to net zero emission. CCUS goes beyond fossil fuel application and contribute to emission reduction in the power and industrial asset, while underpinning new economic opportunities associated with the production of low-carbon hydrogen and ammonia. In Sarawak, we have recently passed the Land Code Bill 2022 amendment, which gives us better position to develop CCUS as a powerful mitigation technology towards low-carbon economy. Developing blue economy. Under the Sarawak Reef Ball Project Phase 1, a total of 16,800 reef balls have been deployed in Sarawak coastal areas from Tanjung Datuk to Lawas to protect the marine ecosystem resources in the state coastal waters, as well as to safeguard fishing grounds from illegal fishing trawlers activities. The reef balls work has contributed to the improvement of our local communities' livelihood, marine biodiversity conservation, environmental protection, and fisheries resources enhancement. In view of the success of Phase 1 of the project, the state government will be implementing Phase 2 with a total cost of 30 million ringgit. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, strengthening social services and enhancing social protection. We will continue to enhance the protection of women, children, senior citizens, and the unfortunate with our development model, which is people-centric, where we will reach out to levels of society to ensure inclusivity and dignified existence for all. In 2023, we will contribute to implement various safety net programs to allow these citizens deal with adversities of life. These programs include the following: 1. 52 million for various welfare aids such as Bantuan Am and Bantuan Bencana. 2. 21 million for free water program. 3. 15 million for postnatal care assistance. 12 million for Kanyalang Gold Card as Death Compassionate Assistance for 4,000 beneficiaries of the early age 60 and above. 10 million ringgit for Endowment Fund Sarawak. 10 million ringgit for financial assistance on electricity connection charges. 4.2 million a special grant for Kasih Suri Keluarga Malaysia that will benefit widows and single women registered under National Poverty Database e-Kasih system. Presently, a total of 127,412 women in Sarawak have benefited, the highest in the nation. 8. 3.75 million for low-income household empowerment program, e-Life, to assist 750 recipients towards uplifting their income through small business venture by providing them with starter kits and entrepreneurship skill. 3.5 million for awareness and intervention programs for community well-being program, and 2 million for bantuan pesakit buah pinggang to assist kidney patients to undergo treatment as well as to purchase more hemodialysis machine. Apart from this financial assistance, the state government will also provide allocation to establish centers for the disadvantaged and special needs community as follows: 500,000 for the setting up of safe haven for homeless and displaced community center in Bintulu, and Miri, a transit shelter to provide assistance and protection among the individuals and families who are involved in social problems. 2. 500,000 for the initial work to set up Special Needs Community Center, SNCC, a functional, well-integrated and one-stop community center for special needs community. This concept modeled for this SNCC will be the first in Malaysia. 2.2 million for setting up Community Social Support Center, CSSC, that function as a one-stop center for social issues, problems, and intervention for the disadvantaged, vulnerable, and marginalized families and individuals like those having problems of addiction, homelessness, divorce, marriage, personal identification, etc. Tan Sri Dato' Speaker, intensifying youth and culture development program. Sports, arts and culture is vital as it reflects our self-identity, unite us as one people, produce avenue for self-expression and creativity. In Sarawak, youth represent 1.2 million or 43% of Sarawak population. They are future leaders who will inherit our place. In 2023, a sum of 6.1 million will be allocated towards youth development and mass sport programs, which among others include International Youth Mental Health Conference, International E-Sport Games, National Extreme Sports Challenge, International and State Youth Volunteer Day, Youth Environmental Program, Youth Entrepreneur Setup, and many more. We will continue to emphasize on the promotion and preservation of our culture and art as part of our heritage. Our initiative to develop youth talents in arts and culture, particularly in music, film, theatre, and innovation programs, will be intensified through the setting up of Sarawak Youth Creative Industry Fund. The fund, with an allocation of 9 million ringgit, has enabled our youth to participate in international programs such as World Championship of Performing Arts, as well as venturing into digital creative talents. We will continue to mobilize our youth as a productive force in our society. We will develop them as entrepreneurs by providing training and financial assistance. In 2023, a sum of 2 million will be allocated for the implementation of various activities under the Youth Development Program. Developing and upgrading sport facilities. Through sport, we can develop a culture of self-discipline among our youth and maintain physical and mental fitness. Sarawak has proven that our mission to produce world-class athletes is not just an expression. This is manifested by the achievement of our Sarawakian athletes representing Malaysia at the Tokyo Olympic Games and Paralympic Games in 2021. In line with our aspiration to make Sarawak a nation sport powerhouse, presently we have 3 Olympians, and by the year 2030, we target to produce 8 Sarawakian Olympians. The budget will provide a sum of 41 million to Sarawak Sport Corporation and 17 million ringgit to Sarawak State Sport Council to fund their operation as well as to implement various sports development programs. On top of this, a sum of 47 million ringgit will be provided in 2023 for implementing various sport facilities projects, including upgrading and refurbishing the existing sport facilities, which include the following: sport facilities at Petrajaya, 2 Wushu Training and Competition Center, Petrajaya, Sabau Sport Complex, Bintulu, 4 Selangau Mini Sport Complex, and 5 upgrading of Stadium Balingyan. Promoting research and development, science and technology, and innovation. Innovation is a key driver of long-term economic growth. Thus, we will continue to foster research and development (R&D), initial commercialization and diffusion of innovative ideas and technologies. In promoting science and technology, the state government is embarking on the following project. 1. Establishing Sarawak Science Center. The state government is setting up a science center to increase STEM literacy among school students, youth and community at large, as well as to promote innovation in culture. A sum of 20 million will be set aside to kickstart the science center construction work in 2023. 2. Establishing Sarawak Bio-Industrial Park. In promoting R&D and commercialization of bio-based products, the state government will provide a sum of 2 million ringgit for the establishment of Sarawak Bio-Industrial Park in 2023. This project will create an ecosystem for innovation and commercialization. This initiative will also enable Sarawak to tap into global biotechnology wealth and capitalize on our rich biodiversity. 3. Setting up of Sarawak Infectious Disease Center. The COVID-19 pandemic, as well as the outbreak of rabies in Sarawak, have taught us that there is an urgent need for Sarawak to address the gaps in our preparedness for pandemics and future outbreaks. Toward this end, we will be establishing the Sarawak Infectious Disease Center to spur the development of biomedical and biotechnology industries and drive human capital development in biomedical sciences. A sum of 191 million ringgit has been committed for the entire project, of which 20 million ringgit expected to be spent in 2023. In addition, we will also allocate a sum of 8 million ringgit to Sarawak Research and Development Council to support its R&D and innovation activities in 2023. For promoting R&D in biodiversity, we will continue with our initiative to conserve, protect and manage our resources sustainably, and also committed to keep 60% of our land mass as forest cover. Efforts to conserve and promote biodiversity as a natural capital will pave the way for more investment inflow into Sarawak. This will co-create solutions, generate more green jobs and business opportunities to drive our economy in a sustainable manner. In 2023, a sum of 21 million ringgit will be set aside for Sarawak Biodiversity Center to promote R&D in biodiversity. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, while our focus is to accelerate our economy, we will continue to manage our expenditure growth prudently and secure the best value for every ringgit we spend. We will ensure expansion of our civil service does not put a strain on our financial resources and only being done where necessary. The past 3 years presented many unprecedented challenges, but these challenges were also a catalyst for us to continue transforming the work and culture of our public service. Capacity building of Sarawak civil service. There is more to be done. The pandemic has highlighted we need to continue strengthening public services that people rely on. The robust implementation of numerous initiatives, programs and projects under the 12th Malaysia Plan require competent and dedicated Sarawak civil service workforce. A sum of 27 million ringgit will be allocated for capacity building of Sarawak civil service workforce to facilitate them as enabler for change and transformation. Under the 2023 budget, greater emphasis will be given towards 1. Making state government services more accessible and digital friendly. 2. Managing talent through the implementation of numerous training, education and development programs to help cultivate the leadership and help civil servants harness the skill to deliver world-class services. These programs include sending senior officers abroad to attend courses and programs organized by renowned higher learning institutions such as Harvard University and the European Institute of Business Administration in Singapore. Number 3, improving the recruitment system that enables us to attract the right and highly qualified candidates. 4, enhancing the performance management system. And 5, introducing SCS employee well-being initiative to improve job performance and increase productivity in Sarawak civil service workforce. Restructuring of state civil service. With higher responsibility and project complexity, it is imperative for us to restructure our public service for service delivery excellence. This initiative would include restructuring of public sector employment to address the gaps in SCS structure as well as to cater for expansion of public services. Upgrading and creating a post will provide civil service the required capacity to adjust and respond effectively and efficiently to the changing circumstances and align itself to meet the goals of PCDS 2030. enhancing well-being of state civil service. The state government is also committed to provide conducive working environment for the well-being of the Sarawak civil service. In 2023, a sum of 28 million ringgit will be set aside for the maintenance of state government buildings, including offices and quarters, especially those in the rural areas. An additional sum of 167 million ringgit for the upgrading of the existing building and new construction. Strengthening good governance, strengthening integrity among civil service and even civil society will continue to be our top priority. When I took over the administration, I have embarked on strengthening integrity and good governance with the implementation of numerous initiatives and programs under anti-corruption plan, such as Corruption Risk Management, CRM, Organizational Anti-Corruption Plan, OACP, and Anti-Bribery Management System, ABMS, MS ISO 37001-2016. Another key initiative is embarking on special integrity course for Sarawak Civil Service. To date, we have 90 certified integrity officers, CEIOs, and another 74 who have undergone 3 months training. Apart from that, integrity unit has also been set up in all state agencies to implement integrity-related activities. Strengthening border security. The GPS government is taking various measures aimed at strengthening our border security and safeguarding our sovereignty. We have requested the federal government to improve Sarawak-Kalimantan border control efforts by increasing more PDRM General Operation Force and Army personnel, especially in several hotspot areas where movement of illegal immigrants is quite rampant. Our security initiatives include equipping Sarawak border enforcement agencies, GOF and Army with all terrain vehicles, ATV, drones and telecommunication equipment to facilitate the security forces in guarding our border. To protect our coastal territory and continental shelf, we have established our own Sarawak Coast Guard to address the encroachment of foreign and local fishing vessels and protecting our marine resources. Under the 12th National Plan, a total scheme value of 388 million ringgit has been approved for construction of 15 units of asset and Sarawak Security Enforcement Unit office complexes in Sejingkat, Tanjung Manis, Bintulu, and Lawas. In 2023, a sum of 23 million ringgit will be set aside for this purpose. We had also established the Sarawak Immune Belt Enforcement Team, IBET, to guard the state borders toward addressing the issues of rapid dogs movement across the Sarawak-Kalimantan border. They don't have passport, so they can come over the border. Tan Sri Dato' Mas Speaker, dividend policy, part of our enhancing financial management revenue re-engineering. My administration will continue to undertake revenue re-engineering to increase our coffer to meet ever-increasing development needs. One of the latest initiatives is the introduction of a standard dividend policy which requires state GLC to declare an annual dividend of at least 10% of its profit after tax. The implementation of this dividend policy would also inculcate financial discipline, promote performance-driven culture, and create a greater sense of accountability among all GLCs. 2. Carbon trading. The role of forests in climate change mitigation and carbon sequestration has provided opportunities for us to explore the potential of new sources of income through carbon trading and payment for ecosystem services (PES). Through forest carbon activities, the state is expected to tap into a new source of revenues. The present day, the state government is in the process of preparing mechanism and regulation related to carbon trading in Sarawak. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, saving for the future. In this Dun sitting, I will be tabling a bill on the establishment of the Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Future Fund. Whilst we are continuously managing and dealing with the current development issues, we are also thinking about tomorrow, about the long-term interests and welfare of all Sarawakians. We must ensure that we have a steady stream of income from our reserves so that our future generation will not lose out. Instead, they will prosper like their forefathers. This is in fact a prerequisite for improving intergenerational well-being of our people. Of course, I will elaborate this when I present the Sarawak Sovereign Wealth Fund. Federal funding. During the tabling of the recent 2023 federal budget, 5.4 billion has been announced for development budget to Sarawak. This amount represents only 5.7% of the total federal development budget of 95 billion for 2023 and is obviously far from enough to meet the development needs and address the imbalances between Sarawak and Peninsular Malaysia. Given our significant contribution to the national economic growth, as well as the federal government cover in terms of collection of taxes and other source of revenue, especially from oil and gas, I call upon the new federal government to allocate at least 10% of the total annual development budget to Sarawak. I would also urge that this allocation be directly disbursed to the state trust account to expedite the implementation of federal funded projects in the state. As we all know, the negotiation for Sarawak Special Grant Entitlement under Article 112D of the Federal Constitution has been pursued through a joint consultative committee meeting under the MESYUARAT Majlis Khas mengenai Kajian Malaysia 1963. I wish to inform this August House that we have submitted to the federal government our formula to review the special grant for Sarawak. Thus, I implore the federal government to give due and serious consideration to a proposal that is fair and equitable to the state. I am pleased to announce to this budget house that the federal cabinet, the former one, the new cabinet is still in the process of formation. The federal cabinet has agreed with the state proposal to have representative from Sabah and Sarawak in the Inland Revenue Board of Directors, in line with the spirit of the Malaysia Agreement 1963. This is a big achievement for our state, as we have fought for our rights on this matter several times under the MESYUARAT Malaysia 1963. The representation is necessary and critical to ensure Sarawak receive its rightful share in tax revenue returned to the state. Therefore, we urge the new government to expedite the tabling of the amendment to the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia Act 1995 in Parliament to enable the representative from Sarawak and Sabah to be included in the Board of Directors. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, conclusion. Tahun hadapan merupakan 60 tahun kita mencapai kemerdekaan dalam Persekutuan Malaysia. Walaupun kita telah mencapai banyak kejayaan dalam tempoh tersebut, namun perjuangan kita untuk memastikan kita duduk sama rendah dan berdiri sama tinggi sebagai equal partners dengan rakan sekutu di Semenanjung belum lagi selesai. Dengan itu, kerajaan GPS tidak akan berhenti berjuang selagi hak Sarawak yang telah terhakis tidak dikembalikan. Sewaktu perundingan perjanjian Malaysia, generasi pengasas kita telah berusaha sedaya upaya untuk memastikan hak-hak Sarawak sebagai sebuah wilayah dalam Malaysia tidak dicantas dan terhakis, malah dipertahankan sampai bila-bila masa. Hak-hak dan perkara-perkara asas yang perlu dilindungi tersebut telah termaktub dalam Perjanjian Malaysia 1963 dan laporan Intergovernmental Committee IGC. Salah satu tunjang perjuangan GPS adalah untuk terus mempertahankan dan melindungi hak-hak yang termaktub ini dan menuntut balik mana-mana hak yang telah terhakis. We will not stop and waver in this quest until Sarawak is given the rights that are due to her. Federalism comes with certain inherent obligations and responsibilities of each party that are embedded within the system. Malaysia is not a unitary system. Neither it is a one-sided affair. Its future lies with the fulfillment of this obligation by the signatory state towards one another. Thus, for the sake of national unity and the future of this federation, I urge the new federal government to listen to the loud and clear voices of Sarawakian who have given a resounding mandate to the GPS government. For us to maintain cohesion, harmony and building a better future for all our citizens, it is crucial that the federal system be strengthened, not through more centralization, but towards greater decentralization and autonomy to be accorded to Sarawak in line with the letter and spirits of MA 63. Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, kemajuan yang telah kita capai adalah hasil daripada kesatuan dan sokongan padu rakyat, serta pelaksanaan dasar-dasar kerajaan yang progresif dan berorientasikan pembangunan. Inilah yang perlu kita pertahankan. Tidak ada orang lain yang dapat menjaga negeri kita lebih baik daripada kita orang Sarawak sendiri. Inilah keistimewaan rakyat Sarawak. Oleh itu saya menyuruh semua rakyat Sarawak tanpa mengira fahaman politik, agama dan bangsa akan terus memberi sokongan padu terhadap usaha memajukan dan memakmurkan negeri kita into Sarawak, utamakan Sarawak. Therefore, Tan Sri Datuk Ahmad Speaker, it is my goal that this budget will be a plan to get our people working, doing business, to make life better, and the pledge to boldly and unflinchingly stand up for the rights and interests of Sarawak. Sarawakian have overwhelmingly endorsed and supported our commitment by giving us the strong mandate in both the state and the just concluded general election. Our economic recovery has been achieved as a result of our proactive policies and measures to stimulate domestic economic activities. This achievement will not come to naught if we have an unstable political environment. That is why the GPS government will continue to play its critical role in building a coalition that will ensure political stability and prosperity for all Malaysians, while also for us getting a fair deal for Sarawak. It is important that when the rakyat and the state government are united, then our society becomes cohesive. Our state emerges stronger. We have strategically charted our course towards a high-income economy by 2030 to PCDS 2030. This can only be achieved through great teamwork, collaboration, and partnership among all strata of society. This includes the support from members of my cabinet, leaders of component parties, and the civil society as a whole. I thank you all for your continued support and contribution. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, we must treat our openness to diversify and multiculturalism as the source of our strength. We must promote spirit of tolerance and convergence of new ideas among our people, especially in the young generation. Sarawak's future depends on this social foundation. Let us turn our social and natural capital into an advantage. That is why investment that we are putting in under 2023 state budget as well as the current budget are tailored to align with this vision of making Sarawak an economic powerhouse that will drive the whole country forward. Special thanks to you, all the permanent secretaries and heads of department for their staff who have given their full support and input in preparing the 2023 state budget. I look forward to their continued dedication and enthusiasm as we work together to execute the plans announced in this budget. A whole of government approach is what we need to be done, where all must come together, not working in silos for us to achieve our target. In a nutshell, Budget 23 is a strategic, comprehensive, and integrated roadmap to position Sarawak for the future. While the way forward may not be easy, but I'm confident we can overcome them using our wisdom and relying on the solidarity and tenacity of our people. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, so let us build a better Sarawak for everyone, giving hope to our people. With this indomitable spirit and vigor, I believe Sarawak will surmount whatever challenges coming our way. Tan Sri Dato' Ahmad Speaker, dengan ini saya memohon mencadangkan rang undang-undang ini dibaca bagi yang kedua.
Tan Sri Yang Dipertua, I beg to second.
Usul untuk merujuk resolusi anggaran pembelajaan pembangunan bagi tahun 2023 kepada Jawatankuasa Perbekalan Yang Amat Berhormat Premier Sarawak, Menteri Kewangan dan Ekonomi Baru Adun N26 Gedong.
Terima kasih, Dato' Ahmad Speaker. I beg to move that the following resolution be referred to the Committee of Supply. That this DEWAN resolved to approve the Development Estimate 2023 is contained in Command Paper number 11 of 2022, laid down on the table on the 31st November 2022. As presented in Command Paper number 11 of 2022, the total development expenditure for 2023 amounts to RM 7.506 billion ringgit. Out of this, 7.378 billion will be financed by the state funds, while the balance of 128 million will be financed by federal government through reimbursable loans and grants. The total of 7.506 billion ringgit as proposed has been allocated on the basis of projected expenditure commitments and requirements for approved development activities during the year. The proposed allocation for the major sectors are as follows. A total of
5.411 billion ringgit is allocated under the economic sector for the following programs. 1. 3.803 billion ringgit is for commerce and industry, such as state corporate investment, state industrialization and heritage collection, tourism promotion and industry development, conservation and protection of heritage collection, and development of human resource. 2. 1.117 billion ringgit is for transportation, which include roads, bridges, riverine infrastructure, ports, and navigational safety. 3. 151 million ringgit is for energy and public utilities, which includes expanding water supplies and electricity coverage to the rural areas, as well as provision for Kuching Water Board of 59 million ringgit and Cebu Water Board of 16.3 million ringgit. 4. 118 million is for agriculture development, such as livestock development, crop research and industry development, mechanization and agriculture infrastructure, veterinary services, agriculture education and promotion. 5. 67 million ringgit is for digital economy initiative. 6. 59 million ringgit for research and development. 7. 50 million ringgit is for feasibility studies on state development planning and policy formulation. And 8. 46 million ringgit is for environment such as flood mitigation, forestry research and development, and urban drainage. B. A total of 1.850 billion ringgit is allocated under social sector for the following programs. 1. 1.185 billion is for the village and community development, mainly for the implementation of various rural transformation projects, minor rural projects, and residential scheme. 2. 260 million ringgit is for local authorities and social welfare services, which also include urban sewerage and waste management, as well as landfill development. 3. 214 million ringgit for education and training. 4. 171 million ringgit is for housing development, especially for program penambahbaikan rumah miskin Sarawak, as well as construction of affordable houses. And 5. 20 million ringgit is for culture, youth, and sports, including upgrading of various sport facilities throughout the state. C. A total of 245 million ringgit is allocated under general administration sector for building of various government offices, schools, various government schools, conference centers, and residential building, as well as implementation of government ICT project. Tan Sri Dato' I beg to move.
Tan Sri Dato' I beg to second.
Ahli yang berhormat, the debate on the supply 2023 Bill 2022 stands adjourned until Wednesday, 23rd November 2022. Ahli yang berhormat, the sitting is now adjourned and the House shall resume its sitting at 9 a.m. tomorrow.